LJ, hello, Herb.
Hi, Herb. How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on, homie?
We are back again. Let me just say, for a lot of people who are joining us maybe for the first time, you are listening to I just wanted to say there's a lot of people that may be joining us for the first time. What we're trying to do here is just make comic books life and culture accessible to everyone. You know, we just know that, like, you know this, LJ, jumping into a world of like all the comic book movies and everything, it can be like a maze, you know, trying to figure out what's going on.
It can't be amazing. There's a lot. And then when you throw in the interdimensional stuff, hint, then it gets even crazier, man. Like, you know what? I think probably Doctor Strange is one of my favorite superhero characters just because of what he can do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just very different from everybody else, you know?
Well, we'll have to watch some Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole point. Is the point of this podcast is that one of us, Flo, is a comic book geek, and the other one, is not so much. And so we're just here to bridge the gap, and making this accessible for anyone just to jump in. It's just a great perspective, I think. And really, LJ, I really just appreciate you taking the time out of your busy life. This man,
usually recording in a different wing of my mansion.
He's in the southeast wing now. I can tell.
I guess it's more of a palace if you look at it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like. If you are listening to this podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. We'll read it out loud. But today, LJ, we are in the second part of our ongoing series about Tempus in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
I'm actually really starting to like this guy. At first, the last episode we watched, I was like, man, this guy is kind of annoying. Like, he's just a disruptor and he just wants to cause chaos. Of course, that's his goal, but I don't know. I'm kind of starting to like. I'm starting to like this guy. You know,
he's taking his glasses off, y'all.
Yeah,
for sure. So let's go ahead and just get into it. We open up now. This is at this point in the series, Lois knows who Clark is. So it's just not really it's just not really a point or anything anymore. But I do like how it opens up. And as a kid, I remember this. Anytime that they had the S symbol in the clouds and the comet goes by, remember how it opens up?
It was Superman.
Yeah, but I mean that particular opening and that swelling of the music,
No, that does not ring a bell. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about because I watched the show. But how you're connecting it and tying it to, I guess, some other part of it. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying anytime in the series you saw that intro, that little of the S shield in the cloud or in the sky, you knew it was going to be a good episode.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because there's only a handful of them in the series that really have that intro. And you're like, it's going to be a good one,
And that the episode is going to be good. I love those shows where, or the episodes where they introduce a character and then at some point down the line, they resurface.
Yeah.
And dude, or when they make a series out of them, like we watch Law and Order, and they'll introduce something that happens and it's a continuation of like 2 and 3 and 4 episodes until they finally catch the guy or like that. I like shows like that.
That's called
episodes like that.
A story arc is what.
Oh, no shit! A story arc.
Yeah, and they're like, you're gonna have a 6-arc episode or 6-episode arc. So
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and then they just connect them like that.
Lois's hair in this episode, I cannot tell if this is a wig or not. I'll have to defer to the folks at Lois and Clark, the new podcast of Superman. I'm sure that they said it. I just don't know.
I don't know. It looks natural to me.
I don't know. There's a certain part in this series where she wears a wig. So I don't know. I guess now they're getting married now.
Yep, because she talks about a wedding.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, I don't know, send out invitations or whatever it is that you're talking about. But yeah, planning.
And Clark's like, hey, so sorry, my ex-girlfriend pretty much booted her way into the wedding, and Lois is not having it, right?
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, I wouldn't want that shit. You know, I guess maybe trying to be respectful, but I guess I would be. Who wouldn't be irritated?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like how they say Lana.
Oh, they do. Episode. He does say it kind of weird.
Yeah,
he does. Especially later in the episode, he says it like Lana.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Maybe he was trying to have a Texas accent.
Who knows?
Lana.
So there's a bank robbery. Superman flies off. They make a kissing sound effect. It's like, and they're like, they use that. I believe that to be a sound effect.
I can agree with you. Yeah,
you know, because it's like.
Just about everything in a movie or a show like this is a sound effect. Them walking, you're not hearing them walking.
Oh, no.
It's somebody clicking 2 blocks together.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Anyway, but yeah.
The giveaway is whenever they reuse the same effect, over and over. Like there's a couple kissing scenes that are like, it's the exact same. So anyway, Lois is walking down the street in a bustling metropolis and hears off a few feet away someone going, psst.
Don't go over there, yo.
Now, I live in a bustling city, LJ. And if you're walking downtown and someone goes, psst, and they're in a parkway, you're probably not, or in an alleyway. No. You're probably not going to hear.
You do. You go over there and you be like, yo, man, what's up?
Hi.
I just want to make sure you're good.
And who is it? It's Tempus. Our good friend Tempus. And
is it Tempest or Tempus?
Tempus. Tempus.
Okay, so Tempus. No T. No.
No, it's not. It's just Shakespeare. Tempus. I may have said Tempus.
I don't know. I was just curious about that because I know Tempus.
Tempus. Yeah. So it's him, and he's like, Lois Lane, do you remember me? And he's wearing glasses, and she says, no, I don't. And he's like, how about now? And he takes off his glasses. You did that.
He talks about inside joke. Or private joke. Dude,
yeah. I love it.
Dude, he's such a dickhead, dude. I was like, God.
Yeah.
He does not give a shit.
And the time machine is back. So with much better sound effects and video effects. You can tell they take the whole screen and whoom, shrink it down just for a second. Yeah. You can kind of see the black outside the screen. It's like an overlay, 2 shots, and then they warp the top one. Anyway, yeah, like Photoshop, so there's 2, you copy the film on top and then warp the top one and then overlay it with an effect. So it just looks weird. Anyway. Oh. Let's see. Yeah,
that's how that happens.
That is how it happens. And anyway, so now the time machine can just drop people off just in random places.
Yeah, anywhere they want to go. Well,
anywhere they want to go.
It's more advanced now. I mean, how long has it been?
It's different time frames.
Because it's later. So it's season 3 and it's later. See, it's like season 4 or episode 14 or something.
It's just been a few years, but we'll get to it. H.G. Wells says for him it's been 17.
17,
Tempus,
that's right.
Yeah, Tempus, they don't know how long it's really been.
100 million.
She's dropped. Lois Lane is dropped off in front of a grave, and it's hers. And then Tempus laughs through the with a bunch of weird.
Creepily.
It's all, and it's a sound effect.
Away.
It's got an echo on it. Anyway, and then we go to commercial. So then H.G. Wells shows up, and we were saying that it's 17 years later, and it's a different actor, of course. Let's see. And then he makes Lois. Yeah, it's a different actor that plays H.G. Wells this time.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit. I thought it was the same dude. Just with prosthetics to make him look older.
No, it's a different actor.
What the hell? Yeah. He did look a little different, but I just thought that, man, that's crazy. They looked very similar. And that's because we just watched the last one.
Yeah.
I was...
Okay. Maybe you just have a bad memory, LJ.
Maybe that's what it is.
So
maybe it's Herb that gives me bad memory.
Herb? Yeah. So Herb, speaking of Herb makes Lois remember by telling her.
You know what? I thought that whole time that he's like, she's going to close her eyes and he's going to murder her or something.
No, you didn't.
Dude, I did. I was like, I would not like randomly meet
now close your eyes.
Oh, trust me. Trust me. Close your eyes. Dude, I can't even close my eyes sometimes whenever I'm in the shower and I think somebody's behind me when I'm washing my hair. You know, that's how I felt in that moment. Obviously,
that's crazy.
Nothing happened, but this was it was funny when I was thinking about that. But that trips me out that it's a different actor. Now I got to go back and really pay attention to that because I'm like, what the hell? I thought it was the same dude.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but spoilers. Okay, but in the next one, the other actor's back and they alternate.
That's bullshit, dude.
Yeah. They alternate because it's like he's coming. They're coming in at different times.
I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean they need him to look older instead of prosthetics. They were like, let's just hire another actor. It'll be
yeah. Or this guy was like unavailable or something. Who knows?
True.
Yeah. So yeah, he makes her remember just by telling her, and he says he's 17 years older, and Tempus built a time machine, and it's not the future that they're in. It's actual a parallel dimension.
And he calls it a does he parallel dimension or
an alternate universe?
What's a paradox? Is that not the same thing? What the hell am I thinking?
I don't know. Look it up. I'll wait. He's looking it up, folks.
And be careful with the spelling.
Yeah.
Paradox.
Gotta watch that spelling. A time paradox. That's whenever you do something that affects the future and everything unravel. You may be thinking of Loki.
I think that's what I'm thinking about. Anyway. Yeah. It is a parallel dimension though.
Yeah.
And it is fucked up.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't so this is the first I had ever heard as a casual when I was a child, a young man, LG.
A young boy,
a young man, that I had ever heard of like a multiverse, and he explains it all very quickly. He's like, it's like every
Superman does, or
no, H.G. Wells as they're walking down the street. Yeah, he's like, it's like every decision that you ever had span off into another universe. Like that's what could happen if you did this,
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these alternate things. And does that make sense? Like, a fucking multiverse, how everything's a fucking multiverse now,
Well, we even have our own, I think our own personal multiverses because I don't know, I'm being serious. Like you think about sometimes whenever you're deep in thought and you're like, man.
Oh, yes. You can see all options.
Yeah. Well, you see yourself in that position. You're like, oh, well, what if this would have happened? Or you think back what if I would have done this? How different your life would have been. And I think it's the same thing.
You remember I used to talk about a tree of decisions and everything and all that, you know? We just see one path, but there is the ultimate
billion, dude.
Yeah, there's alternate branches and everything for everything that we've done in life. But it's crazy.
It is crazy, man. It's freaking life, yo.
Okay. Anyway, what are you laughing at? This is the first time that I had heard of the multiverse. Anything sort of like this in comics, and it just kind of blew my mind at the time. Charlton Heston is president. I don't know who that is.
It's
Moses in that, the big long ass. Bless you. He's sneezing, people, or coughing, allergies.
Wait, Moses?
Yeah, in the TV, in the movie, there's by Cecil DeMille. It's like a old movie from it's 6 hours long. Look it up sometime else.
DeMille. Yeah. That name is legit.
Yeah.
If I ever have a boy,
can't believe I pulled that out.
Dude, if I ever have another kid and it's a boy, I'm going to name him Cecil DeMille.
Cecil DeMille. Yeah.
It's a DeVille.
That'd be good. No, I think DeVille.
DeVille, like who is that?
Cruella
Kind of
DeVille.
going. Yeah. I was
All
like,
right.
we're going down a fucking rabbit hole.
We can't go down a rabbit hole. We got a lot to go through. Many people are wearing guns. Everybody's wearing guns. All this stuff, and it's just like
Texas.
It's just like basically, LJ. Sorry, I know we're not going to get political on here, but it's just basically this whole thing is like modern day America.
Yeah. Well, did you hear me? I said, "Welcome to Texas." Like you said, everybody's wearing guns.
I didn't hear what you said. No, I missed it. Yeah, that's hilarious. Texas, but it's like all the propaganda and everything, and they think that, hey, maybe there's a Clark. So
yeah, like anyway, who's the enemy? He's saying, "Watch out, the enemy's coming for you." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, yo?"
So anyway, we see Tempus is in a dark room and it's well lit. We'll find out where this dark room actually is later, and he's with the familiar thug that we see, and he's in a bunch of things. Did y'all ever watch Once Upon a Time?
You know what, Megan did. I watched a few episodes. I watched several.
He's grumpy. He's one of the elves.
Oh no shit!
And he's got a beard, and he's just like, hey. So he's buying the television studio. Tempus is, so he can just basically promote his propaganda. And so there's like how do you get all this gold and all of this stuff? And Tempus just flat out tells him, he's like, well, if you must know, I have an interdimensional system, or an interdimensional time machine in this very building. And every now and then I pop off to another, he's like,
I know he spills his guts, right?
Yeah.
He does everything.
And steal the gold and come back over here where, and he's just like,
where I'm wanted for so much as jaywalking.
Exactly. And the guy's like,
starts laughing like,
that's a good one.
He's good.
Yeah. Let's see. So Tempus has someone following Lois and H.G. Wells, and they just straight up just say H.G. Wells has built a thing that it can lock onto Tempus's flux capacitor. They just straight up changed it and just said, hey, we're just ripping it off now. Okay. Sorry.
What was it? Before it was flux capacitator.
No, the facilitator.
Oh, that's why.
Because you were like, what are they doing? Facilitating traffic. And I was like, facilitating time travel, LJ.
Yeah, shit. That's right. Flux capacitor, man. They just ripped off Back to the Future.
They just said, look, we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. They're like, flux capacitors, is that copyrighted? Is saying that copyrighted? I don't think so, LJ. I don't think so.
Yeah, because instead of gold now, they use plutonium to power them.
No, they didn't.
It's fucked up, dude.
But didn't they? Isn't the flux capacitor? Yeah, that would have been the ultimate straw. They were just like, yeah, and now it's plutonium. Like the flux capacitor is powered by plutonium.
That's it.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I know. I like his little smug ass attitude, man. Like, he's like,
but it is gold. He's still just robbing and getting gold. So why don't they just make a gold machine? If they can make a time travel machine, why don't they just make a gold machine?
They might as well.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. Or just have it something that ran on water. Yep. Anyway, so we find out that Perry White is running for mayor, and they see Clark walking across the street, and they're like, Clark! Lois is like, Clark! And he's like, and then there's a drive-by, and everyone's, they're like, well, Superman's going to save the day, obviously. Yeah. You hear him take off, though, you hear that.
It's like low-key, though,
Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, we get back to the I was about to say the White House. It's the Daily Planet. I'm thinking of Superman too. Anyway, and Perry's poster has been photoshopped by Mr. Olsen.
The owner now?
Jim.
That was weird.
James. Man.
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy, get me my... He's like, I love Lane Smith as Perry White. Isn't he just the best?
Yeah, he is. You know what? He is actually an awesome actor. He's in several movies that I like him in.
He's like facts.
Yeah, dude.
Hard facts. You remember in the pilot, he's like, "Now go out there and get me some."
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was the coach in.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Mighty
He's a
Ducks.
hard ass. Yeah,
Mighty Ducks. Yeah,
he's a good actor though. So we find out that Lois had disappeared in the Congo, and it's fine. H.G. Wells runs a mission, and so everything's okay.
And finds her, and she's good.
Yeah, I guess everything's okay. Anyway, so Clark comes in the newsroom, and Lois just runs up and kisses him, and is like,
what's happening?
And then Clark looks like he's wearing lip gloss, or probably it rubbed off from Lois. And guess who's there? And
Lana.
Who is Lana? I have look at my notes. I don't know if you can see it. Lana.
Lana.
It took up a whole line, and it's like, and first, why are you working at the Daily Planet, Lana? Clark's in the doghouse because she knows that he fucking saved some people. I'm repositioning, LJ. Sorry.
I know it's like she doesn't want him to work or to do that or to help people, whatever.
She puts, I think that a lot of it has to do with this alternate reality, because she puts the fear into him, and she's like, "Hey, they'll come after you. They'll dissect you. They'll pick you apart."
Yeah, basically,
and he's just too scared. Yeah, don't get caught. But Lana doesn't want him to do it at all.
No, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, now they're getting married.
I know, everything's opposite. Things are shittier, and now they're now they're getting married.
I just like how whenever they walk away, Clark's like, "I have no idea who she is." He's trying to explain it.
I know, right? He's like, "Shit, I'm about to get my ass chewed out by my girl. I better fucking explain this real quick."
Yeah. So Lois wants to do an expose on Tempus with Clark, and Lois tells Clark that she knows that he's Superman. He thinks they're from the government, and she explains to him that they're in an alternate dimension, and Clark is all like concerned. He's like, "I can't believe the other one of me flies around and wears tights." So basically, like, Lois just makes Superman, I guess. I guess this is after all this. We skipped all this stuff where H.G. Wells basically gets his thing working, and Clark has to go away with his new fiance's parent, right?
Yeah, he does.
Then they get kidnapped. H.G. Wells and Lois get kidnapped by Tempus because they're falling, and it's obviously a fucking trap.
Yeah,
I
know, dude. Because he's one step ahead of him every time, man.
Yep.
He knows exactly what to do.
It was great. And I like how Tempest says, just throwing a couple things back to the previous episode, he's like, "Oh, you really should be armed. You should see one of my gun shops. They're doing a great deal, sunglasses included."
Yeah.
And that's a callback to him wearing the sunglasses and everything.
Yeah, where he robbed that dude in that gun shop.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how he's holding a 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistol. Like, that thing is not. Yes, it's the same gun that Terminator used.
I knew it.
That big ass 50 cal. Well, I don't know if it was in Terminator or what, but it was a 50 caliber.
I thought
Desert
that
Eagle.
Isn't that in Last Action Hero?
Last Action Hero. Yes, he does. He has that big ass fucking 50 cal gun.
Hey, Dylan. No, that's something. That's another one. But yeah, he's like, man, Last Action Hero.
Dude, that had
Alice in Chains in it. Alice in Chains was like, boom, boom.
Yes, dude. That whole movie was sick, man.
Yeah. And so, Tempus, see, I did it again. Tempus just, he kidnaps H.G. Wells and Lois, and H.G. Wells is like, "I implore you, do whatever you want with me, but spare the lady." And Tempus
I know,
says,
right? It's very gentleman-like.
Herb, God, Herb, who writes your dialogue?
Yeah.
We find out that they're going to murder Perry White. All this stuff happens. And he's like, one thing that really stood out to me is Tempus is just like, oh, if only I lived in a world without Superman. Duh, I do. You know, he says, duh,
just like
a callback. Yeah.
Yeah, just like he said in the other one, right? Because he's like, if only I had a time machine.
And he's like, duh, Clark Kent is Superman. Anyway, but the thug laughs like he knows who Superman is. Like, he's like,
I didn't catch that part. The thug?
Yeah, he's all laughing. The elf who's in Once Upon a Time.
What's his name?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
He calls him Mr. Dobe or Mr. Duba.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Or something like that. It's a weird name.
He tells Herb he's a few pounds lighter. Herb's a few years older. He's about to be dead, and I'm about to be a god. And now Lois is on the ledge. So how did she get to the ledge? Is that part of the time machine shenanigans?
Possibly. That's a good point. I don't know. I thought they just like, that is a good question.
You know, how did she get there?
They lowered her down from the top.
But she comes to, like, she's never had any, she's like, okay, I'm on a ledge, and she immediately figures it out. Anyway, just a bunch of stuff where they are watching television. Herb is tied to the chair, and they're just watching television. He's like, it's good TV, Herb. Why are you doing this?
He also says that she's 500 feet in the air. Mm-hmm. Is that high? Because, dude, the way it looks on the video, it looks like she's like a mile in the air.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because in one shot, you can actually see the ground.
Really?
Yeah. I'll see if I can put it in here.
I thought they really stuck her on a building like that.
Oh, yeah. It's for real.
Yeah, it's for real.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Let's see. I love how, the only thing that could ruin that is a commercial.
The construct you've waited your whole life for. To fight gum disease, Colgate Precision has 3 sets of bristles. One like a flat brush for the surface, another like a rippled brush to reach between, and a third designed like nothing else to sweep plaque from the gum line. Fighting gum disease takes precision.
Commercials?
Yeah, don't you just hate when that happens?
How do we be on commercials, though? We fucking we have to set aside time for commercials?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
No shit.
That's what they say. That's what they tell me in my notes. So they come back from commercial, but Tempus just breaks the fourth wall. He's like, the only thing that could kill this anticipation would be a commercial. And, and they go to commercial at that point. Did you catch that? I
did catch that. I thought that was really funny, but it actually did go to commercial.
Yeah.
Like in the show, when the show was live.
Yeah.
Like on TV, on air.
Yeah. Anytime you see it fade to black like that, they went to a commercial.
Oh, shit. No, I did catch that, but I didn't realize.
Don't you remember this was in the 90s?
It's the best
you
fucking
can sail the 7 seas in the 90s. No.
Dude, the 90s was... That's the era that I remember growing up in. I don't remember the 80s. I was too little, even though we were born. But the 90s, I do remember. The 90s... Yeah, that's as earliest as I remember.
Hell yeah.
It's the 90s. Crazy, yo.
Well, that's when the show takes place, so I'm glad we're watching it. So, guess who saves her? She falls off a ledge, and Clark saves her. It's all being recorded by videotape for Tempus to use later.
One step ahead. One step ahead.
Yep. Dean Cain has a pimple on his forehead. They used a lot of heavy makeup to cover it up.
No shit. I did not catch that.
It's after he saves her. So Lois basically just makes Superman. And Tempus says something about that later. She creates Superman. I'll find out what does he say. He says the heroine creates her hero, Herb.
The hero. That's right. Yeah, because she does. She wants to get him out there, and he can have a secret identity. He can be a mild-mannered reporter by day, and
he's a different Clark, and it ends up different for him, you know?
Yeah, it's not the same.
So she, I guess, just makes the suit. She tells him that she's engaged to the alternate him, and you can always just tell this chemistry. They just have a great chemistry. These two actors,
they do.
And it's like he finds out that in the alternate dimension that the Kents are alive, and that really strikes a chord with him, you know. And we learn that his Kents died in a car wreck when he was like 10. And like he just, I guess, just wandered around. So you get this other alternate version of what could have happened to Clark. You know, someone with his powers, like anything could happen. Like I was going to talk about Red Sun, but maybe we'll talk about it later. There's an alternate comic book that's like, what if Superman's, and I may be wrong on the time, but it's like, what if Superman's spaceship was like 8 seconds later, it would have landed in communist Russia, and they would have got him and made him a machine.
Yeah,
you know, and like, you know, it's a really good comic. Like it talks about. I may get that to you for Christmas. So,
dude, that would be that would be really interesting to. It's a show?
Well, there's an animated thing, but I'd like to get you a comic book. Your first comic book, LJ.
Yep, I don't own a comic book.
No, I think I thought I'd given you one before when we used to live together. Maybe not. Anyway, this Clark is not very hopeful. That's what I have written down here. And the point of Superman is hope. I don't know if you know that, but like there are some iterations where the symbol that he wears on his chest is like a symbol of the House of L. His last name is Kal-El. And that symbol means hope in the Kryptonian like language or hieroglyphics or whatever, you know, that symbol means hope. And it's like some iterations it's a snake, you know, winding, or sometimes it's a river winding, other things. So anyway, this Clark, he parts his hair in the middle. I just have that written here. So they pull out the S that his parents had saved for him, you know, and Lois basically just makes the suit. Of course, the S is bigger. He sees a picture of the season 1 suit with the big ass shoulder blades. And
he does in the show?
Yeah, whenever Lois shows him a picture of Superman, it's from season 1. But the costume that they make is from season 3. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, he's unsure, and Lois is just like, well, there's only one way to be sure. To take Lois Clark, Superman needs to take Lois Lane for a flight to see. And they're obviously on boxes, and Lois is like laying this way, propped up against something. And he's laying down, you know, they're on a green screen. So they're on boxes.
I guess that would make sense because he would need to support that weight if he was doing it for real.
Yeah, like he's laying down, like the camera on my screen, like he's probably this way. She's laying down something like this.
I see, where it looks like he's carrying her.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe more like that. It doesn't matter. I'm pointing my hands, people. I'm pointing my hands. I'm making like umpire gestures.
It's like this, yo. Look.
That's great.
You got it?
Yeah, I do. I like how he just lands with her and in front of a mugging and is super timid and is like,
locks him up, dude.
Give me the gun.
Even though, dude, I know it's hilarious when he gets shot and he's like, "Oh shit,
yeah, I can do this." Yeah,
and then he takes the gun and he goes, he squeezes it with his hand,
squeezes it,
and then
exactly.
The dude faints. He's like, "Oh shit, I can't take this."
Yeah, the guy faints. I have exactly the gun crunch. They do that a lot in this series, and they used to do that a lot in the 50s George Reeves series. So anyway, he's like, thanks.
Oh, where he bends the guns and stuff, like in battles. And
and like he would take like signposts or pieces of iron. LJ, you popping pills? Take your pills, LJ. Skittles? nerds.
I put them on my desk.
From Willy Wonka's factory at LJ, actually.
Hell yeah,
they are from Willy Wonka's factory. Anyway. All right. So, anyway. But yeah, he used to wrap like pieces of, steel around them and all this kind of stuff.
Put them up like that. Right. He'd wrap the steel around their body. And
yeah. And there's one like in where he took the bumper off of a car. You remember back whenever cars had those steel bumpers and shit
that were like
that
protruded from the vehicle.
Yeah, he took one off and he's like boom, and he flies off, and like it's a cartoon. Back in the day they couldn't animate it, and so or they couldn't film him actually flying, and so and then at this point they cut, and then they drew a cartoon the rest of the way.
You mean like he actually leaps like he's getting off the ground, and they cut the shot.
And then they animated it. Yeah, he turns into a cartoon. Anyway.
And we actually do have those steel bumpers still on those cars, man.
I know that you liked this last time whenever Dean Cain does the lip purse.
What?
And do you remember?
I am not catching that shit, dude. He's doing lip purses in this one too?
All the time, dude.
What the heck?
When they take off, they do another platform takeoff. They're standing on a platform away from the gun robbery scene. It's just a platform takeoff.
Oh, I need to. You know what? I need to pay more attention to that because hey,
LJ, what am I paying you for?
To analyze the show, but not really.
Did you get
as
this?
Best I can.
Some ASMR.
Yeah,
it sounds like Morrowind. Like,
like when he's like shuffling stuff or like picking up papers. Or
do you remember Morrowind? I used to play it. I don't know if
I know it sounds like that, like those effects. It's just real quick, like
we should not get on a tangent. Anyway, they land. They almost kiss, but guess who shows up? Who is it? Lana.
Hey man, Lana's cool.
Lana is not cool. She's a blonde. Why is she a blonde? And Lois is like, look, this world needs a Superman.
Like, Lana's not cool. Lana's not cool, yo.
And then Tempus call. Yes, she's not. I don't think she is. Fuck that. Okay, look. Don't even get me started on the Lana fucking tangent. Because her in Smallville, all she ever needed was fucking saving. She's just like, Clark, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Fuck you, Clark. And then like something happens, and who's the first person? Is like number one on speed dial. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like, she's like number one on speed. Clark. And like it's like
she gets
shut
taken.
The fuck up, Lana. If you don't want to, but granted, in Smallville, Clark should have disclosed that to her. But I mean.
That is true. She is she's the one that a lot of people don't like. Obviously, everybody likes Lois. Like even in Smallville, like everybody wanted Clark to get with Lois, dude. Everybody did. I mean, naturally, Lois and Clark, right? But he never did.
You're talking about Chloe.
No, I'm talking about
everybody in Smallville.
Girl.
Chloe.
No, it's Lois.
Okay.
There's a Lois in
Lois Lane,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the brunette girl, right?
Lana, yeah.
What? No, not Lana. I'm talking about Lois.
So take
Lois
a minute and open up a new tab. Give it a googs, mate.
Yeah, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Lois, and they got together.
Oh, I didn't think they got together.
So what you're telling me here is that you didn't think that Clark Kent and Lois Lane got together by the end of a show called Smallville about Superman?
No, I always thought that because he was always hooking up with other people, that I didn't think they got together. But they did, but it was like alternate reality.
When did you? I don't know when you stopped. We've got to get back on Smallville. I know that you and your family deserve, you know what would be awesome? Is if we did a rewatch of Smallville.
Lexmas.
Well, we did Lexmas already. That was our second episode.
We'll do Lexmas Part 2. No? You're like,
this may have to be split into Part 2.
What? This one that we're on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we need to get back on track, dude. Why do we keep going down rabbit holes?
Anyway.
People are going to be like, Get on with the fucking show already.
Okay. Well, we'll just get on with it. Get on with it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it. Lois creates Superman, and then Tempus is videotaping it. And then during the election, or before that, Tempus calls and he's doing a very Dracula voice. He's like, I can't tell you where, but Betty White will die tonight. And he's like, blah, I want to suck your blood. Blah. You know, he never says, Dracula never says, blah. Anyway, so the election happens. What are you eating, dude? What are you eating? Get that out of your mouth. I feel like, ew, nerds. Again? Don't get one through your
right
sinuses.
there. It's tempting.
It is very tempting. That's why they're there, is because they're nerds. And they're hanging around you.
Yeah, because I'm a nerd, right?
So anyway, during the debate, it's revealed, Tempus has been filming all this shit. And Superman comes in. There's a bomb. It's not C4, LJ. It's C7.
It's a C9, dude. It's like a
I have that in my notes. I'd like to point out, just for those watching it on video, I have C9. I have that. No, look, C7, but it's C9. I knew it. I mean,
it's not C9.
I know it's not C9.
Wait.
I know there's a 9 right there. That's great. See, he states that, people. Do you see that?
C9.
You see what I'm working with here, y'all? God.
You see what I have to work with here.
So they're on like a carpeted stage. It's totally from the 70s. It's just like, what kind of stage? It's something that, like a church, like but it's television studio. That's right. That's what it is. It's the television studio. Superman comes in. We were talking about Perry White talking about the enemy. And he's like, you're always talking about the enemy. Be prepared for the enemy. Where's the enemy? And then Superman shows up and Tempest is like, that's the enemy. And he tears down, like in his eyes, he tears down the poster. And behind that poster is a lead-lined door. And behind that lead-lined door is Tempest. Or is H.G. Wells. So, is that room that they were hiding behind where they were watching TV and Tempest was eating the popcorn and doing all that? Was it right behind there? Were they just hanging out backstage? They must have,
because if it's lead line, he can't see through it.
He can't. Exactly, LJ. That's an awesome point for LJ. Everybody, point for LJ. Good job, dude. It's lead line. He can't see through it because he's a
Superman. No, he's a Kryptonian. That's why. Yeah.
Saved by the 5-second rule.
Kryptonation. He's a
Get on with it.
So anyway, we find out that the bomb is still ticking. Our Tempus he's got a grand plan. Doesn't all of this seem real familiar? Like a lot of scare tactics. Anyway. He's like, but I have the solution. It's right here. Look at that. That's perfect in my.
It's green.
It's
bluish. That's okay. It's basically green.
Anyway. And he's like
kryptonite.
Yeah. And so it almost kills him, and Tempest is just like, H.G. Wells is just like, the bomb's still about to explode, dumbass. He's like, the bomb? The bomb is still ticking. It's about to blow. I said that. Run! And I don't even know the exchange. I'm not even going to try to do it.
Yep. But anyway, he does run.
But the back and forth between...
To get the fuck out of there.
I said that. Yes. But I knew... the Tempest, Herb and Tempest. You know what I mean? They're just so good together.
They are.
If there was any scenery in this scene, LJ, it would be chewed up by both of them. That's an actor's joke.
I don't get it. If there was any scenery, they would be chewed up.
Tempus shows his true colors and walks through the crowd and fires off his get out of the way.
his 50 caliber Desert Eagle.
Superman eats the bomb in a throwback to his original, the pilot episode.
That was crazy. I thought he just put it in his mouth.
Yeah.
So it would explode.
In the pilot episode where the rocket was about to take off and there was a bomb in it, he comes in and just eats it, and Lois Lane is like, he ate it. And so it's like the same thing. He still ate a bomb for his first outing as Superman.
No, I don't remember the original or the first one that you're talking about.
Do you remember the pilot that we watched? Do you remember up until the point where Ma Kent made his suit?
Yeah.
And then he flies off to help a rocket take off into space. And there's a bomb on it originally, and he eats it. And so that's this paying homage to that, and having like his first outing. He ate a bomb. Like some of the things are still the same, but the path may be a little bit different. You know what I mean? It looks
different. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because in this universe, Jimmy is James, Mr. Olsen, and he loves Superman. And he's like, White, we got to get you one of these suits. And
yeah.
He's like,
he's like, we're gonna make sure you're mayor.
Yeah, that's so good. And Jimmy is in love with Superman, and that is a throwback to like
to the original, man.
Old school, exactly. Yeah. The old school comics, because after Superman, the comic book and stuff, it was like the number one bestseller was like Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, and it'd be like because that was at the time, LJ, that was like the demographic was a younger crowd, and so they couldn't really see themselves as Superman, but they could see themselves as Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, you know. And so that really is like, oh gosh, Superman is gonna come on, you know. And anyway, so that's a great thing. Perry's elected. Perry welcomes his best friend, the King. They don't say Elvis. Nope. We can't say that, LJ. We can't pay copyright taxes. They charge by the millisecond.
Huh? I said Eduardo Persuado.
Oh.
That's what I said. His best friend, the King.
He's still alive.
Eduardo Peseda. That's his name. That's it. That's who that is.
Yeah. Eduardo Peseda. Anyway. No hablo inglés. So like I don't know, man. I don't know.
I keep hitting my desk, yo.
So Clark's ID is just his it's just blown out of the water. Everybody knows Clark Kent is Superman. And
And that's it.
Well, that's what happens. Lana comes in and is like, I can't believe that you're gonna do this. You know, and it's like, what did you think? People were just going to recognize you with a pair of glasses or whatever. He tells her that him and Lana are fucking done. H.G. Wells shows up and says everything's taken care of. There's another time machine that he's left in an alleyway.
Right.
So
he's like, gotta get back on it so we can roll.
Yep. So we got to get out of here before Lois wishes that Clark didn't have to be alone. Oh yeah, Perry is like, and ladies and gentlemen, Clark Kent, aka Superman. And it's like, she's just great. She just wishes that he didn't have to be alone. And this is one of my favorite lines in the series. Wells tells Lois that, isn't it amazing? Because now she can see her perspective from different realities and I guess different points of view. Love can be so fair to some and so cruel to others, even those who would be gods.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're back in the alleyway from the original thing. Clark says, God, Lois, you've been gone for 10 seconds. I didn't know what I'd do.
Dude, I
looked all around. He's all freaking out. And
I was like,
they have to
kidding
play
me?
it
Like
up.
10 seconds. You could have said like 5 minutes. Like,
well, but
like
10 seconds. But imagine how long that is for him, you know, like where he's like really aware of everything. He's trained his ears so well that he can hear her heartbeat. But let's just say something. This is not he's listened to it so often. He's focused that on her or whatever. But this is not the Superman who has like been trained in the fortress of solitude. And so he doesn't necessarily know how to, hey, rebuild this carburetor, like he would have to figure it out, this particular version of Superman. So anyway, long story short, they walk out, everything is fine. Tempus is in this reality. He's being loaded into a police car.
Busted.
Why? But why? Did you catch that? Like, why is he in this reality being loaded into a police car? Why not put him anywhere else and anywhere in time? I just don't understand that. That was Clark. Go ahead, dude.
So he could be caught finally.
But why not put him like at the beginning of time, like 2 seconds before the beginning of that the universe was created? Or like, why not put him like 4 seconds before the comet destroyed the dinosaurs on the Earth?
Yeah.
And just like, well, here you go.
Yes. At least he's getting caught.
He's just going to get out again. Anyway, that's a Batman approach. I apologize. Clark almost recognizes Tempus, though. He's like, hey, isn't that? And Lois is just like, let's go.
He's like, let's not do this again, please.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Now Lois wants to invite Lana, and because she understands why it didn't work out with her and why it may always work out with us. And then they have 2 kissing sound effects again. And then H.G. Wells puts his pocket watch in his pocket and walks away, LJ.
And he's off.
And it goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Never to be seen again.
Well, he'll be back.
Oh, well, he'll be back later.
Well, overall, I'm going to give it 9 thumbs up.
9?
Just 9.
Is that the max? That's the max, yo. We can't call 10 the max. We got to say 9's the max. Yeah,
I thought it was just a thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't know. It sounds cliche. You got to give it. We'll figure out a rating system. Overall, I thought it was
a scale from 1 to 9. I'd give it
I'd give it a 9.95. We're doing fine. I'm about to put a song in right here.
And we're doing fine. I give it a 9.95.
I give it a 9.95.
9.95. Damn, dude. I'll give it a 9. I'll stick with the 9. It's the whole number.
Well, man, this has been good. What'd you think about the Tempus episode?
Is there another one that's got Tempus in it, or is this it? Dun, dun, dun. It's probably
we'll find out next time. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it.
It's season 17, episode 24.
No, just kidding. What were you saying?
I said it's going to be...
Listening to Go ahead. What?
I said it's going to be like season 9, episode 9. That's when the next Tempus is going to be on.
No, it'll be back sooner than that. So.
Oh. Is there 4 seasons of this one?
There is.
4 seasons.
Is it the 5th season hotel or 4 seasons? It's a
4 seasons hotel. Yeah, so it's a 4 seasons hotel. It's bullshit.
The 5th season, LJ. You know what the 5th season is? 5th season is? Season. You know what the 5th season is? You know what that 5th season is, LJ? It's your imagination.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you want to see paradise, it's the 5th season.
It's at the 5th season.
I could have been really welcome, man.
Well, thank you for joining me here again.
All day, every day. Cheers, my friend.
Well, cheers to you, sir. And you, my friends, have been listening to...
The live to tape editing will happen now. Live to tape.